Welcome back to the Energy Fix. Today, I want to talk about perimenopause and menopause and what that looks like in a non-chaotic way. How can we take some of the questions, the chaos, the taboos out of this concept? And I want to talk about it on two different levels. Now, in a little bit, we're going to have a clip from the Energy Fix podcast, episode number 55, featuring Amita Sharma. And she's going to be talking about perimenopause and menopause in a different perspective than what I'm going to start this video out with. Now, before I dive into my end of it, make sure that you hit the subscribe, hit the notifications, and that way you know when we're getting new videos coming in and you can stay on top of that. It's a great way to support the show too. When we talk about menopause and perimenopause, there are multiple ways that we can look at it. We can look at it physically, nutritionally, hormonally, a multitude of ways. But one way that I feel gets overlooked so often is the energetic side of it, the energetics of perimenopause and menopause. And that's what I want to start out today discussing. Now, when we talk about the energetics, we're talking about our subtle bodies. We're talking about the chakras and the energetic systems within our bodies that help us to stay balanced mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. This subtle body mirrors so many of the changes that are going on in our physical body. Our energy shifts and we can manifest in a number of ways, many different things. Menopause represents our birth into this wise woman, this crone phase of life. And perimenopause is the onset of that. It's the coming up of that. And with this comes an energetic, a psychological, and a spiritual change within us. And that can manifest in so many different ways. Now, there is already this imbalancing that's starting to happen during menopause, and both estrogen and progesterone are starting to shift and to change, and these levels can become imbalanced. So you're going to start to notice a couple different symptoms that are happening when that happens. However, that is more on the hormonal side, and we need to have a hormonal balance when we're working into these newer phases of life, these changes that are coming on. Part of the hormonal balancing isn't just the foods that we eat and the nutrients that we take in or the hormones that we're trying to balance from outside sources like supplementation. It's not just the way we move our body or the way that we approach life, but it's so much deeper. It's about aligning our chakras and aligning our energetic system so that we can move through and do the other stuff with a little bit more ease and it doesn't feel so taxing. It's about optimizing the endocrine system, really. Optimizing the endocrine system and also emphasizing certain chakras that are going to become a little bit more out of line, a little bit easier. So where should you focus? When your chakras are aligned, when things are flowing smoothly, you're going to have less stress issues going on. Emotions are going to be better balanced. You're going to feel more grounded, more rooted, connected into your intuition. It just feels like life is operating so much more smooth. However, when that becomes out of line, there are certain chakras that typically seem to rev up and become a little bit more imbalanced, a little bit easier. Let's talk about what some of those are. Number one, the second chakra or your sacral chakra. This is the female power base. It's the source of strength for us as women, and it has a really strong connection to our mental and our emotional body. When we are out of balance, it can feel like our hormones are really raging out of control. It can feel like our creativity or our intuition feels a little bit more stifled. It can feel like maybe we are feeling a little uncomfortable in our female body. But when we can get balanced in our sacral chakra, it starts to restore all that, restores the hormonal balancing, and it helps with these physical and these emotional issues that start to pop up. So the next chakra that we want to pay a lot of attention to is your sixth chakra, which is your third eye. And your third eye is connected to your hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus is the part of the brain that secretes hormones to the pituitary gland. And your pituitary gland is what tells the adrenal glands what to do. It also is the area for growth hormones and your metabolism. There's so much going on there, but it's also the part of your intuition. This chakra in particular is related to our autonomic nervous system. And when we have higher levels of stress, when things are feeling imbalanced, that sixth chakra that's directly connected to all of these things may start to present in an imbalance in all of that. So it's going to be even more important to make sure that we're balancing that out. So all of these other pieces, these big symptoms and signs that so many women complain about when we're going through perimenopause or menopause start to pop up, it's important to balance this out so that is better balanced itself. So another big factor, and I've already mentioned this a little bit, is your endocrine system, but not just focusing on the endocrine system, but really focusing on the nervous system and how that impacts and works with the endocrine system, if that makes sense. It's important to really focus on how your nervous system is being balanced. Because if your nervous system is out of whack, if it is taxed, if you're feeling massive amounts of chronic stress, or it's a lot of little stressors over and over and over again, it's going to make a big deal on how your chakras, your energy stay nice and balanced as a whole. So that could look like things like detoxing your physical body and getting out some of the stressors that may be being placed onto your physical body. Looking for liver support, lymphatic support, kidney support, things that are going to help to open up those detox pathways and allow things to flow. It could also look like detoxing your mind and detoxing some of those emotions that no longer serve you anymore. It could look like creating an environment around you that is supportive and that makes you feel like you are being held and seen and just nurtured. Something that's not super chaotic, something that's not feeling overly stressful. It could also mean you going for energy healing sessions, doing things like Reiki, acupuncture, therapeutic touch like massages, maybe even a lymphatic drainage massage, right? There's so many different things that you can do, but really supporting that nervous system is going to be critical when we're talking about balancing out those chakras. So there's 5 main things that I want to highlight that you can start to do to help to manage and balance out these subtle bodies, especially during perimenopause and menopause. Now, honestly, these are things that you can do at any age that are going to be incredibly beneficial to help you regulate your endocrine system and your nervous system and support you in a multitude of ways. But it is especially great for perimenopause, menopause transitions and moving into those different phases of life. So number 1, chakra balancing. Chakra balancing really helps you to create this optimal function of the entire endocrine system, really. It emphasizes the balance of the root chakra all the way up to the crown chakra. But if you can get energy healing, specifically for the ones that you need, but especially for the second chakra and the sixth chakra, you're going to be really dialing in a more nuanced way. Now, I will also add in here that I have seen, especially for my clients when they're on my crystal Reiki table, I have seen that a lot of times the heart chakra is really important to put some emphasis on too. I have seen that the sacral chakra, your second chakra, and your heart chakra, your fourth chakra, which is located right at the heart space, is so directly connected. especially for women. Directly connected. So if you are feeling issues with self-love, self-compassion, self-worth, that could be a huge indicator that your heart needs a little bit of healing too. Because if your heart chakra is feeling blocked, it's going to be really hard for you to sink into your sacral chakra. So number one, chakra balancing. Number two, regulate your breathing and get into more of a restorative breathing pattern, because this can really help the body and the mind move towards something that is more calm and relaxed, feeling less stress. We cannot be in a truly stressed state if we are doing purposeful, deep breathing. That is going to be more of a restorative state. So you can do breathing practices that are guided. You can do box breathing, rhythmic breathing techniques, work with a breathing practitioner. Yes, there are breathing practitioners out there that you can work with as well. That would be a great addition to really get you into that practice to move through some of the stress. Number three, earthing and grounding. Earthing and grounding is so critical for the nervous system. This could be physically earthing, getting your feet, your bare feet and your hands out into the dirt, the sand, anything non-man-made, and really connecting into that earth vibration. That's healing on a level that is physiological. It could also be the visualization of grounding. So getting into a place where you are purposefully, like if you live in an area that maybe like right now, there's snow out on my ground. So if you are in an area that does not really allow for easy access of grounding outside, you can do visualization grounding indoors as well. They also sell different grounding mats that can mimic the effect of being outside and grounding on the earth. So that's something to check in or keep into consideration too. Number four, create this relaxing environment. You want to bathe your senses and your nervous system in this place of healing and really creating a space that feels nurturing. It could be throughout your entire house, or maybe it's a little bit of a sacred spot that you go to. You can use lights and candles, aromatherapy, have music playing. You can have some of your favorite pictures or sources of spirituality, if that resonates with you, to have in that sacred space as well. But simply having something that you can move to be able to transition and bring yourself into that relaxing place helps you to shift and change your perception, your mind, and your overall stress levels. And then finally, number five, getting into some sound and vibrational therapy, getting into the use of music. You can go and get sessions done or go to a sound healing session, or you can put on some different music at home on YouTube that is specifically dialed into healing hertz patterns. Deeply penetrating the mind, the body, the spirit with this vibration is extremely relaxing and supportive to the nervous system, but it can also help to heal you on a deeper level, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. There's so many things that you can do, but really focusing on these maybe top 5 areas can help you to get there a little bit quicker as you start to do all of the other stuff, the nutritional, the lifestyle changes, and the physical body movement that we're going to talk about here with Amita in just a moment. So take this into consideration as you're moving through perimenopause and menopause. Let yourself sink into some of these other possibilities and see how it can help you to truly open up and transform and love the time that you're in an even deeper way. If crystal Reiki is a modality of energy healing and chakra balancing that is interesting to you, head down into the notes. I have a link down there that you can click and learn more all about my crystal Reiki and intuitive healing sessions. Okay, so we're going to dive into this clip now with Amita. Amita is going to talk about perimenopause and menopause, taking out some of the chaos and helping to take out some of the taboo feelings that women so often feel as they're starting to venture into these new explorations in this season of life. Remember, this is just a clip from the episode number 55 with Amita Sharma from the Energy Fix podcast. You can find the entire episode on iTunes or Spotify or at my website, TansyRodgers.com. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you can get all future videos easily right into your notifications. All right, ready? Here we go.
You have to, first of all, you have to get to know yourself, right? You know your body better than anyone else. Then I think what women should do is understanding the holistic therapies and embracing the holistic lifestyle. And first thing is starting with some kind of a daily routine. You have to set some kind of a routine. You can't change your habits overnight. We are, we like to do the same thing. If I want to have a burger, I'm going to have a burger. I can't tell you stop having processed foods, just suddenly switch to plant-based diet. It's difficult, You're used to a certain kind of a diet and nutrition the way you've been raised. But starting with a simple daily routine and incorporating simple changes, habit changing daily, it will help you get to where you want to be. So, for example, I'll just share with you what I do or what I have done to help myself. So, as an example, I wake up and simple breathing exercises, pranayama, what we call it, and you know that you are yourself a healer. Yeah. Ton of research on yoga and pranayama. Now, pranayama is breathing exercises. Learn some of the breathing exercises. It will help you calm down. It will lower your stress. We know that there's a ton of research on that. And there's so many pranayamas on that. I'm not going to go into each and every pranayama here. That's one thing I swear by. Simple, breathing exercises. Simple meditation. Sometimes we have a problem in meditating. Meditation doesn't have to be, oh my God, sitting still. It can be a simple, just, listening to music and just for 5 minutes, the kind of music you like, right? That's the thing. The other thing I swear by is what I do is I take a simple oil and I massage my body, the whole body. It's very good for you. It's very calming. What we call it as abhyanga in Ayurveda, right? Abhyanga is self-oil massage. And oil can be whatever you like. I use sesame oil, but you can take an oil that doesn't have smell. It doesn't bother you. So these two tricks, what I'm talking about, are so calming to the body, right? Breathing, exercising, self-massage, cleaning your tongue, squishing, putting coconut oil in your mouth and squishing it out, right? What we call it oil pulling, right? So simple techniques. And then the breakfast should be very heavy on protein. Protein will make sure that it'll curb your hunger, right? Otherwise, we women have a problem of binge eating, or if we are getting depressed or stressed, guess where we go? The food and the chocolate, and that's a problem. So load up on protein for breakfast so that it helps you to carry along throughout the day. Your food has to change. You should try to include 2 days plant-based diet as an example. Try, because plant-based diet is easier to digest during these time for women as opposed to meat-based diet. It's just simple. You have to lower on your caffeine. Caffeine is not good for you. It's going to increase your hot flashes, lower your alcohol. It's very important. And then, like I said, plant-based diet, within that, you have to increase phytoestrogen foods that are rich in phytoestrogens. We were talking about soy foods for Japanese women. So, women can Google foods that are high in phytoestrogens, load up on that, just examples of cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, things like that, right? So these are the things that if we start making these simple changes, you will see the difference. Exercise routine has to change. You can't go like crazy aerobics. Oh my God, that. You have to include resistance training as well. We talked about the estrogen going down, bone mass is going down. You don't want to end up falling when you are 65 and above. We know so many seniors have problem in falls, right? So resistance training, bar, of lifting weights, that you should incorporate that. So these are some of the simple things. If women start incorporating these simple habits on a daily life. The other thing is circadian rhythm. Follow the circadian rhythm, right? Ayurveda talks about it. Eating according to the seasons. We don't pay attention because we are getting mangoes in December, right? But you should try to see in winter time root vegetables like pumpkins, butternut squash, things like that. Eat according to the seasons. And then other thing is after 3-4 months, cleanse your body. And I'm not talking juice cleanse here. I'm talking simple, gentle cleansing your body, right? Because there's so many toxins in the environment. We know that the makeup we use, the plastics, all kind of things. So these are just a very quick tips that women can start doing and helping themselves and self-love. It's all part of self-love.